Hey there, students. Just a quick video to illustrate how StatCrunch can help you doing problems where you're looking for measures of center, like mean, median, mode, things like that. And so I've grabbed a problem from homework number 3, which is on sections from chapter 3, sections 1 through 3. And in particular, this is problem number 10. So the problem states, listed below are the annual tuition amounts of the 10 most expensive colleges in a country for a recent year. What does this top 10 list tell us about the population of all of that country's college tuitions? So what we see here is there's a list of these values, 52,837, etc. Looks like there's about 10 of these. And the first thing it asks us to find is the mean, mid-range, median, mode of the data set. So as with any problem where there's a bunch of data given to us, there's a little link here where we can open this data in a different program, and our first choice is StatCrunch. Again, you could copy to a clipboard if you want to grab this data and paste it over like in Google Sheets or open it in Excel. But I'm going to open it up in StatCrunch. And let's put this over here. All right, so those are the 10 data values in StatCrunch. And so the first thing we're supposed to find is the mean. All right, so when looking for these kind of calculations, we're going to go to the Stat choice on the top here, the Stat tab. And things like mean, median, mode, these fall in the category, StatCrunch refers to them as summary stats or summary statistics. Because this is one of the ways, the standard ways that you summarize data is to look at these values. And so we're going to go over to columns because our data is arranged in a column. So again, in order to calculate mean, median, mode, things like that, you would go to the Stat tab, go to Summary Stats, and then Columns. So then we only have one column to choose from here because we only have one set of data. And so I'll click on that column. And then skipping down here to which statistics we want, there's an automatic choice made for you. N is the number of data values. The mean is here, the variance, standard deviation, standard error, median, range, min, max, Q1, Q3, which would give you the 5-number summary. Anyway, so there's a bunch they've chosen for you, but I'm going to show you also how you can choose just what you want. So if I click on something on the left here, it puts it in the box here. And if I click on something else, it switches and puts that in the box. So in that way you could pick one thing at a time. Like I can click on mean, and then if I hit compute, it'll just show me the mean of this data. And that's the first thing they want. But they're also going to want the mid-range, median, and mode. So we might put some other things over so we can just get all that stuff at once. And so if you want to choose something else and have the original thing you choose stay over here, if you hit the Control button, then you can add and make a list of things you want. So if I go down here a little bit, there's the median. So I'm going to hit Control and then click median, and then median goes over there too. And the mode is, I think, on the bottom here. If I hit Control, I get mode. So there's the mean, median, and mode. And then we also want the mid-range. Now, mid-range is not one of our choices here, but the mid-range is just the value that's halfway between the biggest and smallest value, or the max and the min. And the max and the min is on here. And of course, there's only 10 pieces of data here, so I could see which one is the max and which is the min. But again, maybe the data sets will be bigger in the future, and this is showing how to do that on StatCrunch. So I would grab the min and the max as well. So with the mean, median, mode, min, and max, lots of M's here, I can calculate the things they're asking for here. So again, just to summarize before we get our little box, so I clicked in the Stat tab, and under Stats, I did Summary Stats Columns, and that gave me this box. I chose the column where my data was, and then by hitting Control and Select, I selected the data summary stats I wanted, and now I'm going to compute those. So it gives me this nice box with the things that I asked for. The mean, median, mode, min, and max. So first thing it asks for is the mean. So that's this one. So I'm going to copy that and post it over here. And then the next thing they want is the mid-range. So that's the value in between the smallest and biggest value. So I would have to basically add up and divide by 2 the min and the max. So let me grab a calculator. So the min is 50715. And I'm going to add to that, the max is 54393. And then I'm going to take that result and divide by 2. And that gives me 52554. So that should be the value midway between the lowest value and the highest value. So 52554. I think I typed that correctly. 52554. Thinking so hard to check my answer. You can do it. And I think I'll drop the calculator. Okay, so it's happy. So that was the mid-range. And so next up is the median, which is given here. And again, that's the value in the middle if you were ordered to order all the values. But again, StatCrunch does that for us. And then it wants the mode or the modes. So the mode is the value that occurs most frequently, and apparently that's this number here. So I'm going to grab that. So the mode of the data is that number. Okay. Anyway, so this was StatCrunch, and then they're going to ask you to ask whether this reflects the data. I'll leave that up to your judgment. But here was the idea of how you could use StatCrunch to do a bunch of calculating and tabulating for you. I will mention one thing. Sometimes there isn't a single mode. There isn't one number that's repeated most frequently. Like maybe there's a couple of different numbers that both occurred twice. Then you would want to list those values separated by a comma. Whichever values occurred most frequently, if there's a tie, then you list them all. So, however, StatCrunch is not good about that. It'll just say multiple modes here. And so here's how you could see what those were without having to go through the data in a big way. So what you can do is you can click on the column with the little down arrow and say sort the table in an ascending value, and it'll order the data from smallest to biggest. And then what I can see is that the 5274 repeats here. There was 2 of those, and that's the only one repeat. That's why that was the mode. But if you saw there was something else that repeated, it would be easy, at least if they're ordered like this, to see where you have repeats and which one repeats most frequently. So that's a way a StatCrunch could help you if there ended up being multiple modes. So having said that, there's my quick overview of how to use StatCrunch under the Stat menu with summary statistics in columns to find things like mean, median, mode, mid-range. So keep up the hard work and best of luck.